coming up here Saturday. So
I got you. Where are you located at right now?
currently I am in Auburn. I'm on my way out there though within the next few hours.
I got you. I got you, my friend. Well, hey, man, in the South here, we're in Nashville, and right now we're cooking and baking,
Whew, man, it's you're not lying. It's been hot.
But I mean, so congratulations, man, on the great sound. I mean, tell me a little bit about your music and a little bit about who inspired you growing up.
Yeah, man. My music, pretty cultural. I love, American. I love the rock and roll history here in the U.S. I love classic rock and modern rock and acoustic music, folk music. So I try to draw from a little bit of everything, and also pull in a little bit from my family side, which originally were from Peru. And I always like to bring a little bit of Latin flavor into some of the songs. But for the most part, I like to write.
Excuse me, you better, or you'll hear about it, right?
Exactly. They will let me know. But I like to write. I like to write songs that people can, connect to or listen to, dance to, or think about. That's a big thing with me.
Right. I love it. It was like, who were your inspirations? Growing up, like, what did you listen to, man?
Well, growing up in a musical family, my dad would play the guitar. A lot of Latin American musicians, Eva Young and Peruvian musicians, and also when I came here to the States is when I got influenced a lot. Like, I grew up with friends who liked a lot of classic rock and rock music of the '90s. That was a big thing, and that inspired a lot in the writing and picking up the guitar and not being afraid of making a little noise.
Well, we are listening to in Peru, so give us some of those old time Peruvian singers you were listening to, man. Hey, give me a couple names there, brother.
Yeah, it's, Sambo Cabrero. That's one of them. Sambo Cabrero, excuse me. And you have Eva Young. She's amazing. Those are the big two. There are some other groups like Cuatro Haces. And anyways, it was a mix that my dad introduced me to when I was young, and him and my uncles would play their music, and I thought it was fantastic.
I got you, man. I got you. That hey, my pronunciations. I'm part Latino, and my pronunciations are. Ooh, I'll get some heat from my family too, so I dig it.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
Now, as far as the fact of Americana part of it is, what were you listening to do in those '90s and stuff like that, man? What were you digging?
Oh man, just anything. Well, the main thing that I really noticed that as more than I've grown, listening to those records and being a little more polished with the sound, what I really enjoyed were like how bands back then were able to have not necessarily like one sound. Like you would have albums out like Nevermind, and it would be like an acoustic tune, a rock tune, or
Right.
you have Pearl Jam and all those bands that came out, and they had like just a mix. And I think that's one of the niches that I really pulled from there.
I'll tell you what, man. Sunrise. I love that, man.
Oh, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. That song took a long time to finish up, but yeah, thank you.
It didn't sound easy, brother. It's a
Thank you.
complicated song, meaning, and I mean that with much love and respect. It just sounds like there's so much work in that song. You make it look easy. I mean, hell,
Yeah,
I wish I could play the guitar
thanks.
like you. When I grow up, maybe give me lessons.
Absolutely.
but
Well, the thing about it is the simpleness of the song that's the hard part, because I like to make things general for everybody to be able to relate it to put a story to, and even though like I can think of an idea, like that song is about my kids being born and waiting for them and being excited about it.
hmm
So but putting that in words to where everybody can be like, oh yeah, well, I'm waiting for this great thing to happen, and that's their sunrise, so that's the hard part, being able to make it general, not so specific.
Well, to tell you how I realized that is people always make a big deal about sunsets, and I think they're beautiful, but I'm a sunrise guy. So
Yeah.
I kind of caught right into that because that's the beginning of a beautiful day. And so I kind of rode right into that with you, man. I was cruising right along with you, checking out, all the miracles happening in the beginning of the day. So I thought that it was also the sound. The sound is complicated again in a good way because you have you do have a little bit of a Latino, mix in that. You can hear the Spanish mix in it. You can hear, some folk mix in that. You can hear a little bit of light rock and pop in there. I mean, plus some great, Americana. So I really think the mix in there, that's why I said it sounded very complicated in a good way.
Yeah. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that, and also big props to my friend Scott Rawlings from House Fire. He's the one that helped me out with the horns in the background.
Yeah, great harmonies, man, are a rough deal, man. I mean, I'd rather sing by myself because I can't harmonize with nobody.
Yeah, it's a challenge for sure.
I mean, so I love the inspiration part of that is I had to score points at home, man.
Yeah, well, it was always an exciting moment. That's why it took a while, because that song started off when my daughter was born, and I didn't finish it 3 years later when my son was born. But yeah.
Well, I mean that is really cool. I mean, that's something that always, your kids are always be able to look back on, family look back on and sit there and say, man, this is something that took, and also there's no favoritism because it took both of them.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, one can't say, "Oh, this was about me." It's like, nope, not really.
I love that, man. That's awesome. Now tell me a little bit about what the music you have coming up.
Yeah, man. Well, I just released another single, "Time Machine." It's out everywhere, and that one has to do the topic of that. It's out. I recently got into collecting vinyl, and it's amazing how a song, especially when somebody like, either, I got family that's giving me away a vinyl or two, and I really appreciate it. Those gifts are amazing to me. But it's kind of cool whenever they do that and you listen to them with them. They can be like, "Oh, this was this party once," or "I remember when I played the song at this place," So Time Machine has to do a lot with that, about how the power of music and how it can take you back. Like it's just a time machine. You can just mentally just go back and remember the sad times, any times that you may have had with that record or that album or that song.
Yeah, I mean, that's it's funny. In one, getting hooked on vinyl, brother, there's no sound like vinyl. Am I wrong?
No, man, I absolutely love it. Well, okay, so and I am fairly new to this game, but I have discovered that I am a fan of vinyl up until a certain period. Like as far as like sometimes nowadays, I believe things can sound a little too busy. I like to hear like how the bands back in the 60s and the 70s put out vinyls. I like that sound.
Right. Yeah, I dig it.
That's my preference.
No. I think once you get past about 86 or so, 87.
Yes.
I think it is. I mean, I still dig it, and like having like sports with Huey Lewis, the News and the Eagles and stuff like that. Then you can still hear that kind of stuff in it. But all of a sudden you could tell where it all of a sudden started getting more computerized. But it was almost a sin to have that creaking sound in it back then, and now we're looking at it going, I mean, I just went out and bought it. I don't have a stereo at the house right now. I just went out and bought a cheap record player just to play some vinyl for Christmas, and I was like, dude, I got, and I'm gonna buy something bigger. But I was like, man, I gotta have this. So so with that being said, what are some of your favorite things in your vinyl collection right now, brother?
Man, I got the Meet the Beatles. All right, now.
Oh, you're just swinging big. Yeah. You're just going out of the ballpark.
This is like the original, and I was so grateful when it was given to me by my mother-in-law, and my father-in-law gave me this, and it's because the sound of the record, man. Like you said, it takes you back to sitting down. There's no phones, there's no internet, nothing. It just takes you back to that spot when it came out. And John Lennon's voice, man, it's just amazing. I only play that record when certain people come over. That's like my your best Scotch bottle of wine for guests.
right. That's your best bottle of wine or your best bottle of Scotch coming down to have. That's certain people come. That's when it comes out, right?
That's right.
I hear you on that. So okay, so I'm gonna throw you out there right now, because I know mine. But who's your favorite Beatle?
Oh, John Lennon. He's a writer. His songwriting
Yeah.
absolutely.
My favorite song is Something, so it kind of George Harrison, but
Oh, Harrison, yeah,
yeah,
unbelievable.
so it
Yeah, that's
kind of goes on that. But that's like again asking your favorite children, which depending on the day,
yeah, and you gotta be. You might get me in a little trouble because those Beatles fans, man, they'll argue with you.
I know what I know, and I've been to 4 of Ringo Starr's birthday parties, so I'm gonna get heat from Ringo on that.
Oh man,
So, we love you,
did
Ringo.
I tell you how much I love Ringo Starr?
Yeah, right. I'm telling you, brother. Right? No, we do love you, Ringo. And his birthday just passed
Yeah.
777. So but I mean,
And Paul's birthday was recently too, wasn't it?
pardon me.
Paul McCartney's birthday was recently too,
I
I
think
think.
somebody gets stoned for that, but I know that Ringo's was the July the 7th, I believe.
Yeah.
But I got a couple of his cookies still sitting on my mantle that he gave me.
Oh, that's huge, huge, huge.
And but let me ask you a question. So with all that being said, and enjoying the Beatles stuff, is there any chance that Eduardo is going to put out some vinyl?
Actually, that is coming up in the works because I've released 3 singles the last couple of years, including Time Machine, but they're all part of a bigger album. So I'm thinking about go ahead and putting them all together and maybe releasing one next year if it all works out. We're supposed to, but that is in the plans for sure.
Dude, I'll be first in line, man. I'll be calling up, buying my copy, man, saying, Eduardo, brother. I mean,
Thank you so much, man. I
and,
appreciate it.
no, I mean, I dig it. I get excited, and I hear certain, music that's different and a different twinge here. And I review a lot of songs, it's like movies. And I have tons of guests on from all phases of it. But all of a sudden, like I said, first off, when I heard Sunrise, I dug it. And you had me hooked right there, man. I mean, you had me hooked right there. Time Machine kind of, it takes you back, but it's not nostalgic. I think it kind of, it's a review. I think it's a review bringing you to now. It's like one of those things. And I don't mean to sound corny here, but it's like one of those birthdays. It's like a birthday or a wedding, and it's like a wedding, and all of a sudden, then it brings you from when you met to now.
Yeah, exactly.
And with showing future.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean that's. Oh, I'm sorry, but I didn't mean to go over you. Go ahead. No, I mean, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
Oh no. What I was going to say is you have it right. It was Time Machine was a little different sound than Sunrise, and with Time Machine, and somebody compared it to David Bowie's the Odyssey was
Odyssey.
I can't remember David Bowie tune. I can't remember. It has that strange weird sound, that it does take you back, and it does. That was the whole point of the song.
Yeah, I think it takes you back, but then it kind of brings you in. It's like starting a roller coaster. You start at the beginning and kind of way back in the memory, and then you keep going forward. And I just think it kind of gives you that forward thought as well. So I mean, well written, man. I mean, did you write that?
Yeah. That's everything I put out. I write and I come up with the music for.
Man, fantastic. Let me ask you, and here's where I said the sound. I can tell it's you. When you were talking about like that sound of where you can different sounds, I can now listening to some of your music, I can tell it's you, but with different sound, which I think is cool because I can still identify you in the music. But it's just it's like going from a ballad to a rock song. It's Journey, but yet you don't know if it's Open Arms or if it's whatever it happens to be, I mean, it's just right there. So I think that, that's cool that, you still have that identity in your music. It's just, you just have a variance.
Yeah, man. And that's the music business these days. I think, again, this is my experience, the musician needs to be able to get into, and people have playlists set by moods. So if you want a song that's rocking, you need to have one for your customer. A song that is more mellow, romantic. I think my job as a musician is to get out there as much as I can and reach out to as many people. And the way that you do it nowadays is by getting in people's playlists. And people have different tastes, so you have to reach out and create different art.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. Because that sense of perception and that attention span is about that quick and it's gone. So
Oh yes.
so it's like a TV channel, man. Oh, that's a cool cat on there, and he's gone, So I mean, now let me ask you a question. In writing this stuff, I mean, is it when the mood spurs you, when you sit down and say, I'm going to write today, or when the spirit gets you, when you see something that's a hook, or all the above?
It's a mixture of things, man. Sometimes it comes real strong, and I just get it down as quickly as I can, so it doesn't go away.
Mm-hmm.
Other times, I mean, there's been times where I've been like chasing my kids around the house with a silly song, and I'm like, hey, I could change that around, and that sounds pretty good. So it really depends.
Do your kids still dig the fact that Bobby can sing to them?
Oh man, yeah. Well, they used to more than when they were younger. Now they've discovered other artists that are far more popular than me.
Oh yeah,
but and more glamorous too. But it is what it is. But yeah, they still like me chasing them around and playing them songs.
It's funny. All of a sudden, wait until you're going to get into some big deal event or something like that. Then all of a sudden, Bobby's going to be number one again.
That's right.
Hey, Dad, you're hanging out with who? How you doing?
I know, right? Exactly.
Been down that road, brother. I dig it. I mean, but it's fun in that. Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, here's the fun thing, man. Is I think you really got some nice sound. I think you have a very unique sound, unique in a positive way that blends music. I mean, you really do blend your music, and I think that's really, really cool. I think you putting it out there that you stay true to your roots in a way, and I think that's really cool. And but at the same time, your roots are everything.
Yes, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yes, that's correct. Universal, man. Music is universal. It's the sound, and you got to make everybody vibe along with you.
But I don't think you just go through the motions, man. I really feel that you kind of the sincerity in your music, and I don't remember the last time I've said that. It's very few times here and there. I mean, but the sincerity in your music, and I dig it, and it has a thing that can reach everybody, and that's a cool deal, because of the fact that to reach out and sit there and say, hey man, look, anybody can, you're just not having a Latin flavor, you're just not having Americana flavor. I mean, you're blending everything, and I mean, and face it, today our world is blended anyway.
Yes, that is correct, and thank you so much for the kind words, man. I really appreciate it.
No, so I mean, I mean that. Now let me ask you a question. So, how you coming with making some videos and stuff for these songs? We got anything coming up?
Yeah, I do have a lyric video out for Time Machine and for Sunrise on my YouTube page. But I will definitely keep working on that. Like I said, as I keep putting out music, definitely these singles that I'm putting out, I'm gonna try to correlate with videos and trying to make sure to get out there a little bit more with that.
You got a cool merch page too, man. I dig your Sunrise shirt. That is pretty badass, dude. That tie-dyed shirt is awesome.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. And that actually, my daughter is the one, because she's like, you should have one in tie-dye. And I'm like, you know what? I really should. And and I put it up there. So that was her idea. It's all her idea.
What's her name, man? Give her some love.
Oh, Emily Leon. And today it's her birthday. Celebrating her 9th birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday, my dear! Happy birthday to you, Emily, and and you gotta give your boy a little bit of love too, Paquito.
That's right.
What's your son's name?
Oh, Noah. Yeah, Noah.
Noah, hey, how you doing, Noah? But happy birthday, Emily, man. That is awesome. 9 years old. Wow, oh my gosh. And let me ask you a question real quick. What do you want to say to all your Latin-speaking fans, especially your home fans in Peru and everything else it is, which we're listening to in Peru? So much big shout out to Peru. And what do you want to say to your Latin fans?
A mi gente. Bueno, ojalá que me escuchen bien y que les guste la música y que bailen y que vivan su vida y que todos estén alegres. Y un día voy a tocar en Peru. One day I'm going to play in Peru. And I don't know how or when, but it's coming.
Dude, that's I mean, hey, it's from your mouth to God's ears, man. I mean, you got it. You're mixing everything together. You're making it a great blend, and like I said, our world's blended, man. So everybody should enjoy it because I sure did. I mean, I didn't know much about your music until recently, and I was so excited to have you on. And I checked it out, and like I said, I ran over for people who don't know. I ran over about 2 minutes, and having Eduardo on the show today because I was listening to his YouTube, which you guys go check out, like and subscribe. And but I mean, so yeah, so I mean that was really cool to. I got blended. I'm like, oh man, dude, I got to quick get this guy on the air. I mean,
Yes.
so what do you say to your fans out there, man?
So sorry, come again. What was that?
I says, what do you say to your fans out there? I mean,
No,
that are digging you,
yeah,
man.
no, I appreciate every single one of you and everybody that's listening to the music, and I really hope that the music it's affecting you in a positive way. And if there's anything that you're getting out of my music is that it's first and foremost that it's positive and it makes you feel good, and I want to make sure that everybody it's in those vibrations because that's the right way of living life, I think, and making sure that everybody is good. And that's one of the things when people come to my shows. I really hope, anyways, that when they leave in a better spot than when they came in. So.
You know what? I think that's the idea, and to see all of the, to go out, all the things going on in the world today, and to escape.
Yes.
I said this. I said this the other day to an artist. I said, we go to a concert or a sporting event or whatever else it is to escape, and to go relax and enjoy. And if you can enjoy it, but yet people also see, you go through things too. You're sharing. You're kind of putting your heart on your sleeve. Sharing your babies being born in a song, putting on certain things out there, and and everything else. So people also see that because they see you up on stage as this entertainer, and this musician and singer songwriter, and then all of a sudden it kind of makes them feel like, hey, this brother's gone through all this stuff, good or bad or whatever it happens to be, whatever the song happens to be or whatever, the same. And it kind of makes them feel refreshed that they're not the only one.
Yes, yes, that's exactly it, and that's what I hope that they gather from it, and making sure again, that they leave a little better when they came in, and that's what it's for. Usually, the shows and performances, are not necessarily for them to be like, oh, look at that guy, because that's not the point. It's like it's for the music to affect them in a way that they can relate to in life, and they can take that and take it somewhere else and kind of pass it on.
Right. And man, you're reaching out. I mean, you're all over the country, man. You've been in LA, you've
Yes.
been in Georgia, Louisiana, Alabama, North Carolina. I mean, you got all these great, you got Georgia coming up. You as you just said, you're in Alabama, you're in North Carolina, Alabama again and Georgia again. I mean, man, you're all over the place. I mean, congratulations on the road part.
Thank you so much, man. Yeah, that is a big deal. That is a big part of it. For the last couple of years, because COVID kind of put a damper on things. But
Sure.
after now I've been getting out a little bit more, and LA was fantastic. The people out there are so great, and then just recently started in July again. So I have a few days coming up, and a few more coming up too. So you guys stay tuned to the website and on social media to find out where I'm coming.
I want to make a comment about that. Absolutely, definitely, but I want to make a comment about that also. Is your music? I don't see an age in your music. I mean, everybody in the family can listen to your music.
Yeah, that's I like that. I like that. Thank you. Yes, I like to make sure that it appeals to everybody and everybody can jam to it.
Yeah, because I mean, everybody can, it can be, somebody your daughter's age, like 9 years old, or it can be somebody that's teenager, or it can be, in their 20s or 30s, or it can be, us old people, not me old people, but I mean, but I'm in my 50s, so I mean, I can say that. Matter of fact, my birthday's only a few days away from a couple days later than your daughter's, so
Oh,
So,
all right. Well, happy early birthday.
thank you, brother. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. But I mean, so yeah, I mean, I really do think that and this is very radio ready. This is very radio ready. So I mean, all my friends out there and all your with all your radio peoples out there and everything else that listen to this show, this is a very radio ready guy. I mean, so make sure to check out Eduardo's music because of the fact that I mean, this could be on most platforms. So I mean, I feel like you got something going on here, man, and it's a different sound. It's unique in a great way. You don't hear it every day, and you can switch gears, which I think is really cool. And I appreciate that. But I have a question for you now. Now
Yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
gonna have a little bit of fun with you, brother. It's okay.
Yeah,
So
man.
so I come over, and you and I are